Hello and thanks for watching this Vintage Cube draft here on Magic Online. Getting towards the end of the Vintage Cube, only a couple of days left. I've currently got 4 trophies, and all of them have in fact been from mono-coloured aggressive decks, mono-red and mono-white. And then a couple of 2-1s as well to keep the ball rolling, and a few train works. That does happen with Vintage Cube. Anyway, I'm going to record this draft in the hope that I can pass on some of the things I've learned about Vintage Cube over that time. I'm by no means an expert at drafting it, but I do at least have a solid understanding of the archetypes, and I feel like I might be able to pass some of that on, because Vintage Cube is a pretty daunting format to play. It's one of the most fun formats in Magic, but every card is really ridiculous and powerful, and it can be pretty hard to understand what to do. So in a previous video, I've sort of outlined my pick order for Vintage Cube, which generally goes Power 9, Fast Mana, build-arounds, normal mana, and then like just good cards. So I'm not going to spend too much time focusing on the pick order this time. Instead, I'm going to try and display how I think is a really good way to draft the cube, which is to stay open as long as possible, preferably until your first pack comes around and you can tell what is open. Many of the monocolored aggro decks I've started with, I've played, I've just picked a, just 8 generally openish, good, flexible cards for the first 8 picks that could go in most decks, and then seeing that the aggressive cards are wheeling. I've speculated a couple of times, and then when no one's in the deck, then you can commit fully. Because the best thing you can be in is a deck that no one is drafting. So you really want to play with what's open and not what you open. Play with what's open and not what you open. That's a good slogan. I'm going to trademark that. And let's move on to our pack. So, no Power 9, unfortunately. Let's get a preview pane up. Have a quick look. So the cards that are standing out to me from this pack, there's 2. So keeping in mind what I just said about noting what's in the pack, I see 2 good aggressive cards in the Runaway Steamkin, the Sulfuric Vortex. There's also a Birds of Paradise, a Selfless Spirit, a Simic Signet, Vendilion Clique. All these are fine. I'm going to take Smuggler's Copter, which, while not being a super powerful card, is flexible enough. Like, I'd normally probably take Birds of Paradise or maybe the Runaway Steamkin. Birds is a pretty good consideration, but I thought for the point of this draft, for the purposes of this draft, I'd show how I can stay kind of as open as possible. While Smuggler's Copter doesn't go in non-creature based decks, it does pretty much go in every creature based deck and some other like graveyard reanimation strategies. So let's see what happens next. So this next pack, again, not super high in power level. There's Kythian for the aggressive white decks. And the most important thing about the monocolored decks is curve. You want cheap spells, and you want them to be, you want to be able to get things on the board, fast mana. The curve 1 is most important, then 2, then 3, etc., etc. So I'm basically never playing 5, maybe 1/5 drop in these kind of decks. So don't get too excited about that. Sorry, while I've been talking, I've also been looking at this pack. There's just nothing much to write home about here. I think it's a choice between Steam Vents and one of these cards. I'm going to speculate on Swords to Plowshares. I don't like playing white that much, but if I'm mono-white, I really like having Swords to Plowshares. And because there's a Kythian in the pack, there's potential that mono-white is open and I get to wheel it. Wow, okay, here's our first kind of, here's our first power pack. So, there's Natural Order, which would have gone quite well with the Birds of Paradise. A little bit of a signal. Mana Drain, which is just one of the most busted things you can be doing in the cube. It's a counterspell. Counterspells are quite hard to come by. There's not actually that many in the cube. And Mana Drain, of course, is the best counterspell possible because you add tons of mana at the end. So I think this is kind of a decision point. If we take Natural Order, we're committed to mono green, or at least pretty green. It's a very broken card, but you do need green to be open for you to do that. I think I'm going to take Mana Drain. The fact that I'm getting it 3rd is a little bit of a signal. And let's just quickly have a look at our original pack that we opened up. So, probably not much of this would wheel. We might get a Signet or a Vendilion Clique. Maybe we might get a Balance and actually go into blue-white control. I haven't drafted blue-white control yet, but I'm going to take the Mana Drain here. Keeping that in mind, I could take Tundra at this point. I'm basically now looking... See, those last 2 packs has been no good aggressive cards, so I'm also keeping that in mind for when those original packs come around. This pack I've got Karn and Tundra. Generally cheaper is better and fixing is better, so I'm going to take Tundra over Karn. Like, Karn is a good card, but and it's especially good with Mana Drain, of course. Like if you can cast colorless cards with Mana Drain, it's particularly useful. But there's kind of a few cards that fill that spot. Ugin, Khan, Duplicant, Sundering Titan, those kind of cards. And of course the Eldrazi, which are all colorless. So I'm going to take Tundra here on a speculative pick. And we'll see if we made the right choice. There's a few cards here. So I'm not a huge fan of True Name Nemesis, especially because it's blue, and blue generally doesn't want to be doing beatdown things. There's a couple of people who just enjoy playing True Name Nemesis, putting a sword or a Jitte on it and just, attacking their opponent, but that's like a 5 or 6 turn clock. And I'd prefer to be doing something broken. So I'm going to take Time Twister here. It is a Power 9 card. It's definitely the weakest of the Power 9. If blue and white is open, we could wheel Dragonlord Ojutai, which is it'd be a good finisher if we are blue-white control. I don't actually know what we're going to be yet. Time Twister requires a little bit of building around as well. You can't just sort of jam it into any deck and hope it'll go well. Alright, I think the most powerful card in this pack is actually Recurring Nightmare. There's nothing saying we can't be blue-black Reanimator. The other cards are just kind of replacement level outside of the Sylvan Caryatid, which would be good, but we passed that green card, so we're probably not doing that. I'm going to take Recurring Nightmare here. I think it is the most powerful card. It does actually kind of work with Smuggler's Copter, because you can get some looting on. I'd play Angel of Sanctions, Council's Judgment, Savannah would be a nice sideboard card, but I think we're still kind of looking to stay open and flexible at this point until that original pack comes around and we can kind of see what is open. Gaea's Cradle going very late here. It turns out maybe if we'd taken that Birds of Paradise, we'd be in pretty good shape. It's hard to see us wheeling into that, but it is the most powerful card in the pack. I'm not really keen on any of these other cards. These are some aggressive cards, so it could be that Mono White is open. We haven't seen too much of it though, and Blue-White aggro is not amazing. So I guess here, I guess here it's the choice between Hero and the Gaea's Cradle. I'm so far away from the Gaea's Cradle deck. Maybe it's Porcelain Legionnaire. I don't actually know which was better in the aggressive deck. Probably. I mean, the thing is, it's generally a good rule of thumb to go by mana cost, but Hero Blade Hole is pretty strong. It basically finishes the game in 2 attacks. I do like Crucible of Worlds. Still thinking about that last pick. So there's Crucible here, there's also Makeshift Mannequin, which is an instant speed reanimation spell, and Inquisition of Kozilek. I think the safest pick is Crucible. So now we're going to get our original pack back. So keeping in mind what there was, let's see what's wheeled and what we might want to go into. It's a fair chance that balance wheels. Balance decks are kind of tricky to build because you need lots of artifact mana and planeswalkers, but they're also pretty fun. And it's pretty good in a blue-white control shell to have balanced planeswalkers and fast mana. So someone took the Steamkin, someone took the Bird, so green and red are kind of already taken. Someone also took Signet, that's not really surprising. Lion's Eye Diamond kind of means that Storm is still around. Unfortunately, none of these cards are particularly good for us. Someone also took Balance, so I think Balance was kind of the main card I was hoping to get back out of this pack. It's tough. I actually don't want any of these cards, except if I'm mono white, so I'm going to take the Selfless Spirit over Urborg. Seal could be powerful. There's also Sorcerer's Spyglass, which is always fine. Phyrexian Arena, which is good. Good card advantage if we do end up going into a controlling deck, although it is double black to cast. Still not entirely sure about the direction of this draft. I guess I'll take Spyglass because I can always play that if in doubt. Probably take Seachrome Coast here over these other 2 cards. It's not really looking like I'm going to be mono white. The Kythian didn't wheel, so it kind of looks more likely that we will be blue-white control or blue-white-black reanimator or something. So do I want Terminus or Darkslick Shores? That's an interesting point. I think I'm going to take Terminus over the Darkslick Shores because we might really want these Wraths, and Darkslick Shores while it is fine, we don't know we're committed to black yet. Fatal Push or Banish a Priest. Fatal Push is a lot less good in this kind of format. Like, it's specifically good against aggro decks, but outside of that, it's not particularly great. I guess this could be a reanimation target. Not an exciting one. So at the end of that pack, what's our deck looking like? It looks to be controlling with a touch of reanimation. We've got a Crucible, which isn't doing anything, and a Smuggler's Copter. So these are kind of, as I see them, payoff cards, and we can see if we can make them work. Again, no power for the next pack, which is disappointing. I could take Orzhov Signet. There's also Elesh Norn. I think I might actually take Elesh Norn. It's a pretty good finisher in blue-white control anyway, and if we do go Reanimator, it's a pretty decent reanimation target. There's also Animate Dead to consider. Recurring Nightmare does require creatures as the thing to go for it to actually be good, and blue-white generally doesn't have many creatures, so might be a bit harder to go into Animator than we think. The other option is to take something like a Gilded Lotus, or Revoker, any of those cards. Maybe I don't take the Elesh Norn. I mean, it's a pretty niche deck for Elesh Norn to go into it. Do I just instead take Gilded Lotus? Yeah, why not? It's a powerful card in control, because you can tap out on turn 5 but then still have counter mana open, and then your next turn gets really good. Very good cards here for blue-white control. Soulfire Grandmaster, if you get Time Walk, is an infinite combo. The Battle Ball is always a good finisher. Looter is great because if you're in a reanimation, like, it's even good outside of reanimation. There's also Glen Elendra, which is Permission, and Celestial Colonnade, and Day of Judgment. So you know what, we're getting back something from this pack. I don't think we need the Mere Battlesphere. We may as well take a blue-white control card, since that seems to be where we're going. So I think it's kind of between Glen Elendra, Celestial, and Looter. I've kind of got 2 lands already that fix me, so I think here I'm going to take the Glen Elendra. Just to have some more interaction with the opponent. Whew, this one is tough, because there's Mind Twist in the pack, which is a really strong card. We don't currently have a way to splash black, but we may end up going black. There's also just a Disallow, which is nice, and Metal Worker. We're not so much a Metal Worker deck, but we could get there. We've got lots of artifacts so far. And there's a Stoneforge Mystic as well. So I think it's between Mind Twist maybe and Disallow. The upside of Mind Twist is kind of a lot higher, but we don't really have many many ramp cards apart from Mana Drain. I think Mind Twist is just so much more powerful than Disallow that I'm going to take it here, even though I might not be able to play it. Damnation Jace, not the good one. Search, Charter Course, these are all fine cards. I do like having Planeswalkers. It's a pity we don't have that balance going. Search, we don't have any fetch lands, so we're not going to be flipping that anytime soon. Also, it's a bit of a number with Time Twister. Yeah, alright, I'll take a Baby Jace. We do need Planeswalkers to win the game, probably. Winter Orb, Phantasmal Image, Condemn. I'm just going to take Creeping Tar Pit now because we have that Mind Twist. Try and get all of our fixing, and then we'll wheel something again from this pack, whether it's Condemn, Timely Reinforcements. Armageddon out of here. There's also a Batterskull, which could be interesting with that Stoneforge Mystic floating around. And there's Iona, which is this is a good reanimation target. Not that we've seen that much reanimation, so I think here it's between maybe Kitesail Freebooter, Iona, Batterskull. I don't think I want Armageddon, even though I've got Crucible of Worlds. It's not really what I want to be doing. I'm going to take this big fat reanimation target. Be good if we could get a Gift Ungiven, that would be nice. So here's a reanimation spell or Baral. My deck actually doesn't look Baralish at the moment. I can't really reduce much, and I don't have that much counter magic, so I'm going to take the reanimation. See if we can make this reanimation spell work. Reanimation package work. Tolarian Academy or Bazaar of Baghdad. I don't really. Bazaar of Baghdad actually does get a lot better when you have Crucible, since you can just discard your lands and then play them. I might just want Tolarian Academy. I don't want Thalia. Thalia's like anti my deck. This is getting a bit confusing. So we've got a few reanimation spells. Recurring Nightmare, of course, not being good. We've got a few ways to discard, but not many. I'm kind of more looking to be a Gifts Ungiven Unburial Rites package. I don't think... Hopefully I didn't see them in the first pack. I can't actually remember if we saw them go past. And we've also got this Academy mana drain, like big mana ramp plan on the side. Elesh Norn did wheel, as did Lodestone Golem. And did Animate Dead. Kind of want all these cards. I'm going strong on this reanimation. Day of Judgment or the chance of opening Time Walk seems unlikely. Metalworker or Disallow. I don't think I've got enough. Let's just take Disallow. We'll always play it. Would be nice to have some more draw spells. Snapcaster would be quite decent. We've got 2 Wrath effects. Don't really have much of a way to get these into the graveyard because our Smuggler's Copter's not being crewed very easily. Guess. I don't know. I don't really want Dauntless Bodyguard in this deck. Condemn or Timely Reinforcements. Let's take a Condemn. It's just cheaper. When in doubt, take the cheaper thing. That could be a finisher. Alright, come on, pack 3. Save us. Save us with good things. But not all in the same pack. Good things spread out over several packs. Well, Reanimate. And Scrubland. We don't have any fetches. Reanimate's probably going to wheel. I don't need to take that. I've already got Animate Dead. And then there's Elspeth. Sphinx. I'm going to take Scrubland here. I want to splash that black. And if I can pick up any fetch land now, I can. We can reanimate this Emrakul. There's not much else going on for us in this pack. There's Treachery. Treachery is really strong. Treachery or Emrakul. I'll try Emmy. I've currently only got 1 reanimation target. It would be nice to have another one. So now I'm pretty hard on this black splash. Yeah, if I see any there we go, fetch land. There's an Entomb. Hopefully that will wheel, but I need to take the Flooded Strand here. So hopefully Entomb and Reanimate wheel. Doubtful, but I need to get my mana working if I'm going to splash black. So now let's put these in. See, now with the Flooded Strand, I've got 1, 2, 3, probably not playing Tolarian Academy. 1, 2, 3 sources, I mean kind of 4 with the Gilded Lotus, although it's a bit harder to get off. 4 sources of black. And still looking for more. It'd be nice just to play straight up 3 color instead of a splash, because that way we can do the whole Entomb and Reanimate on turn 1 kind of deal. I think the black splash will make this, so currently Recurring Nightmare and Smuggler's Copter are also not great. So we are on the lookout for things that can put cards in our graveyard. Yeah, I really would like a Gifts Ungiven. Not many other people want to play that, so if I see one, I'm probably going to have to take it just so someone else doesn't take it. Some nice cards here for control. There's a Spell Queller. Tezzeret less so, we don't have anything that combos with that. Duplicant's always nice to have. Gideon's fine. Absent is good. I think I'm going to take Spell Queller here just for some more permission. It's also a creature which may be useful. Fast Bond, though we pass an Upwelling as well. Probably take Godless Shrine for another black source though. A couple more reanimation-ish things, but Buried Alive is the kind of card that will wheel. Godless Shrine won't. Just pick up some fixing where possible. This is currently 22 cards. I could probably squeeze a Damnation or a Sorcerer's Spyglass in there as well if need be. But I do also need to be mindful of some of the cards that aren't working, like Recurring Nightmare and the Smuggler's Copter. Another Armageddon, Mishra's Factory, Avacyn, Frost Titan. Probably take Lotus Petal. Let me think about this. Petal means you can do this. I've got no acceleration, and blue-white really wants some. So I think I might take Petal here. I'll probably wheel one of these control finishes. I'm not really fussed which one. Petal's also good with this Time Twister. Not that Time Twister looks great in our kind of deck, because we're generally going to have more cards than the opponent. But there's times when, you know, you mulligan to 4 or something and it saves you. So here's a discard outlet with the Putrid Imp or a Shambling Vent for the mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We get 1 card back from this pack. Probably, actually I don't know. Wheel of Smokestack. Hopefully no one's going Reanimator. Do I need to take Putrid Imp here? I really hope I don't need to. I just don't have many ways to discard things. Fine, I'll take Putrid Imp and feel sad about it. Alright, off-color Signet. Reanimate Wield. Great. Hopefully that means Entomb will wheel 2. This wasn't the one that had Entomb. So, very interesting. Do I want Maze of Ith as a sideboard card against aggressive decks? Quite good. Or Massacre Worm as a sideboard card against aggressive decks, which is also quite good. I think I'll take the Worm. Liliana. Oh, Gifts Ungiven! There was in the pack, I just didn't see it. So there's Lily and Gifts. I haven't got long to make this decision. Do I currently have a combo with Gifts? I can just put stuff in my graveyard. I don't have Unburial Rites. Liliana, return stuff. I'm going to take Lily. I think she's more powerful, just on the front side. Unexpectedly Absent, always fine. Baneslayer for the aggressive matchups. Blade Splicer for maybe I play Recurring Nightmare. Entombed and Wheel, that's sad. I don't have many ways to put creatures in my graveyard currently. So I guess it is good we took that Putrid Imp, even though it's a pretty sad pick. Okay. Take out the mana. We have a lot of cards, so we have 8 creatures, and Smuggler's Copter being one of the few ways, but 2 of them we can't cast. We've got 6 creatures. Liliana makes creatures. I can reanimate their graveyard. I could also put in Blade Splicer, Selfless Spirit, or Bane Slayer. I don't need Recurring Nightmare. I don't have enough things to make that good, but I do now have Necromancy, Animate Dead, and Reanimate, which is still 3 reanimation spells. Do I keep in the Copter? I'm still also over a number of cards, so Crucible, no combos with. I'm not discarding lands all that often. Day of Judgment, probably good. Smuggler's Copter, outside of the discard outlet. So I've got to rely currently on Putrid Imp, or milling, or discarding the hand size. Don't really want to win with the Myria Angel. I think I need the Copter, as bad as it is. I think I need the Copter. Do I need the Rakdos Signet? It is a black source, so probably. It also ramps a little bit. What else don't I need? So I kind of want to keep all my creatures. I guess Unexpectedly Absent as a double white card can go. Time Twister, Swords. All of these cards look generally pretty good. I think 16 could be correct play. I'm not actually ramping up too far. Most of my stuff's pretty cheap. I don't want to flood out and I don't have much card draw. Oh, don't forget to add our lands. So let's just work out our number of sources, see what this tells us to. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sources of white. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sources of blue. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sources of black. We've got more double blue than anything else, so actually I'm going to take that up and this down. If there's 8 sources, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. That's 8 of both blue and white, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of black, which is quite a lot. Like, it's pretty good. I might like to increase the blue by 1, since I only need 1 shot black mana most of the time. And I want double blue for mana drain, etc, etc. Alright, there's our deck. Kind of slightly failed Reanimator, but you never know, we might get some good starts, and I'll see you for the games.